who better to talk to than Willie McGinest about what goes into being the perfect linebacker.
Wow.
And let's build it one by one.
Okay.
And let's start it off with speed/explosiveness. Who best in the world of pro football defines that quality?
Right now, I would say Von Miller. And I think when you're a pass rusher and you talk about speed, being able to track quarterbacks, your get off, your first step, we always sometimes compare him to Derek Thomas with that cat quick get off. His hands, everything about him is quick twitch. And I don't think there's anybody faster or better off the ball right now than Von Miller. And sometimes when he's on his third step, the lineman's just kicking once, he's by him, and it's a sack. So that attributes to all these pass rushers being great. You got to have a great get off.
Yeah, and it's funny too. He's got a weird, rare kind of bend to his body. He can drop his body down.
He can do a lot of things.
Underneath
Exactly.
the hands of those big O-linemen.
Right. He has great lean as well. So
yeah.
when you have speed and you have lean, you know what that equals. Sacks and then dances.
All right, let's go next to power and strength.
Ooh, there's a few, but there's one that definitely stands out, and he is the newest member of Monsters of the Midway. It's Khalil Mack. Khalil Mack, his burst, his explosiveness, his strength, his ability, I always says he has hands like bricks. His ability to get under and get into offensive linemen, get them off balance, get rid of them, and make a play is probably one of the best I've seen in the last 5 to 10 years.
All right, let's go next to overall athleticism.
Well, I think when you mention that, you got to be able, in today's game, they play a lot of 11 personnel offensively, so you got to be able to match up against running backs and tight ends, and you got to be fluid in coverage and be able to drop to spots and man up and go man-to-man when you need a play. And Telvin Smith for the Jacksonville Jaguars is that guy. He's sideline to sideline. He's very wiry. He's fast. He's also strong. And when you need him to lock down a tight end or a running back or even some receivers, some of these bigger receivers, you can put him out in slot and he can do that. So I got Telvin Smith in that.
As our pal Maurice likes to say, Telvin's got some dog in him.
He do, and he's got the right attitude.
A rare commodity.
Yes.
Football IQ. I'm intrigued by what you say here.
I'm going to go with Luke Kuechly. And when I talk about football IQ, I'm talking about somebody that's able to absorb formations, scan the offense, be able, from film study, from knowing and seeing and understanding and seeing so many things, being able to know based on what the offense is giving him, where he needs to be or where they're trying to go with the football. There are a lot of times, if you watch Luke Kuechly on tape, he's calling out the play before the play even happens. He's hauling, you know what, getting to the play, disrupting the play before it even starts to form. So when you watch him, he's a great linebacker. He's athletic. He's fast. He's all that. But if you're a student of the game, you don't have to be as fast. You don't have to be as good because you know where the ball is going. And for the majority of his plays, when you watch tape, he's already beelining to the ball or getting to where he needs to be disrupting plays. So I would say he is probably one of the best students of the game.
Okay, last one then. Big playability in the 21st century. We've talked about this before. This is what you want out of – there's no such thing as a defense that just completely smothers their foe.
No.
It's about making a couple of plays. So who is the best at making those couple of special plays?
Well, let me just say there are a lot of players in the league, linebackers, that make plays. But guys who consistently make plays, there's a handful. And I think Bobby Wagner from the Seattle Seahawks is one of those guys who, when you watch him play, he's going to meet you in the hole. He's going to thump you. He's going to track you down. You know, if he's on a blitz and he's running, or you're never safe. In coverage, he's very doable in coverage. He can cover. He has all the different things. But time and time again, when this defense needs somebody, so many times we talk about the Legion of Boom back in the past, but they were good on all fronts, D-line, linebacker, and in the secondary. But him as a linebacker, he's one of the top tacklers in the league year in, year out. When you talk about big plays, tackle for losses, all those different things, his name always comes in the mix. So if you got a guy that's always around the football that constantly makes big plays and that's consistent, that's the makeup of a good linebacker as well. Great linebacker.
It's interesting. He feels like a guy whose name isn't as prominent as some of the other names.
And he doesn't like that. He doesn't like that people don't mention his name enough, and people should.
Well, here's the good news. He's going to get mentioned a lot.
Player.
He's going to get mentioned a lot going forward. The bad news is it's because all the other good guys that Seattle had have moved on by hook or by crook.
In my book, he's been getting mentioned the whole time. He's a great linebacker. And all these guys are great, and they do a lot of different things, but I had to take one sample from each guy to make my ultimate linebacker. So that's what we did today.
Love it.